Yes, in today's training, we want to learn how to adjust a cell in order to insert data. Sometimes you have data that is longer than a particular cell, and so you need to adjust the cell to accommodate such data. In Microsoft Excel, there are 3 types of data Microsoft Excel accepts. We have a numeric data, we have an alphabetic data that can also be referred to as text data, and we have formula data. Those are the 3 data Microsoft Excel accepts: numeric data, alphabetic data, and formula data. Whenever we are entering this data into the cell, if the alphabetic data or numeric data is entered and is longer than the cell, that cell can be adjusted to accommodate the data. But if it's formula data, please don't adjust the cell for formula data, because you are going to have error message. Let's go. Now let's learn how to adjust the cell. Like in the first video, you were told that the worksheet is made up of rows and columns, and between each letter you have a line dividing it into 2. For example, between A and B, there is a line there dividing it into 2. Between C and B, between C and D, between D and E, and so on and so forth. The same thing with 1, 2, 3, 4. There are lines dividing them into 2. And so if we want to adjust a cell, for example, if I had wanted to type the word classroom, remember I have told you that an active cell is the cell that is ready to accept data. For example, this is an active cell, and I want to key in data into this cell. How do I do that? First, I double-click in that cell. The moment you double-click, the cursor appears, and so you can key in your data such as classroom. Okay, my keyboard needs to be adjusted. Give me a minute. All right. Okay, thank you. Classroom. Yes, can you see that the word classroom is longer than that cell? So that means that cell has to be adjusted to accommodate it. Assuming I had wanted to type this classroom in cell A2, and lo and behold, here we see where the classroom is. It's supposed not to be here, but this is where the cell was active. And so whenever you want to key in your data, ensure that the cell you want to key in the data is active. So come back here to cell A2, double-click, and type the word classroom. Okay, now we want to adjust the cell. You can't adjust the cell while the cursor is here, so you have to click out if you have already typed in data into that cell. But if you have not typed in data into that cell, it's still okay. Now data has been typed into the cell, so you have to take your mouse pointer in between the column letters. That is between A and B, because the word classroom is in cell A2. And so you need to go to cells, column, letter A and B. If you point your pointer here, can you see the tool that pop out, that arrow? That's not the adjustment tool. And if you are pointing at this place, this is not the adjustment tool. The only place you can have the adjustment tool is the line in between, the line that separates A and B. Now, this is the adjustment tool, okay? Once this tool is out, you can click and drag to your desired position. Now, go back and check column A cells. Can you see? They are now accommodated. It can now accommodate the word classroom, okay? Fine. So that's how to enter data into cell. You can as well enter numeric data such as 34, you have 56, you have 98, you have 65, and so on. So numeric data can as well be entered. Remember, I told you about 3 types of data in Microsoft Excel. Now, this is the first one. This is the alphabetic data that can also be referred to as text data. And these are the numeric data. And here I want to enter the third one. That is what? Formula data. Now, I want to have the total of 34, 56, 98, 65 without calculator, without pen and biro, paper. Okay? And so all you need in Microsoft Excel is to get familiarized with the formulas. If you get the formula, even if the whole worksheet is filled up with data, you will not have any challenge in calculation. Do you understand? Yes, you can calculate 34 plus 56 plus 98 plus 65. Good, you will have your answer. That's a method. But I want you to understand that every formula in Microsoft Excel begins with equal sign. Without an equal sign, you are going to have error as an answer. So every formula in Microsoft Excel begins with equal sign, okay? For example, if I have something like this, the formula, remember I said you don't adjust the cell for formula data. Equal to, yes, addition is sum in mathematics. I think you know that. I know. You know it as a mathematics student. You know it, okay? So if I open up a bracket and I said, okay, let me use the first formula I want to use for you. I now say 34 plus, next is what? 56 plus what? 98 plus what? 65. Yes, you are going to get your answer because you started the formula with equal sign. Enter. The moment you enter the formula, you click on enter key on your keyboard. That's the answer there. Yes, that's one of the formula. Another formula that is widely accepted, especially in examination, is this one that has to do with cell range. Okay, I think that's going to be another topic, how to address a cell. I think I've told you that, yes, how to address a cell. You can actually, you should know that this cell that holds 34 has a unique address. Like I've told you that every cell has a unique address. And so the cell of 34 is cell B2, okay? So wherever I want your answer to be, that's where you key in your formula. Now, equal sign, you type sum because we are adding up those numbers. Now, you take the cell address of the first letter, which is 34, that is B2. B2 separated by colon, and you pick the last number, which is 65, and that is B5. B5. Then you close the bracket and press enter. Can you see we still get the same answer? So the second one, the second formula is the formula acceptable and recognized everywhere. Thank you very much.